Good morning, everybody. Just welcoming everybody in. Come on in, have a seat. Good morning. Welcome to the F Block, what we call it, but the Design and Innovation Center for Public Purpose. This is, I guess, our first, it's not the official opening event, but it's just a kind of a walkthrough where you can kind of see some of the exhibits and the projects that students have made, particularly in the middle school for today and tomorrow, and high schools are actually up as well. They have their kind of open event starting from Wednesday and Thursday as well. So you'll get to see middle school projects, you get to see high school projects. You might not know which one is which. They all look great. So that's the great thing about it. You get to see students being creative and kind of using their passions to show their learning in different ways. So I'm Mr. Johnson. I am the department head for the Middle School Design and Innovation team. We have Liz Roy, she's here. She teaches 2D art and 3D art. We have Jake Toa, he teaches 2D art. And then we have Carly Turner, she teaches maker design, but they have a class right now. So as you go and you walk around, you get to see a few students in action at this time of the year. And then there might be some high school classes going on as well, so you get to see that as well. Okay. So just part of the brief history, and I'm kind of looking at it since I came here about 6 years ago. This was 2019, 2020. When I came, our departments was a little bit different. There was a technology department, a visual arts department. Visual arts was a part of the performing arts department when we first came, and there was the technology department, which was me and half of another teacher who used to teach video broadcasting, and I taught Tech 6, computer science, robotics. I think that was the first year we just opened a makerspace in the middle school. So Carly Turner, she was in that space and kind of just, just kind of manning that space there. And so that's where our departments were when I first came. And you had your courses for visual arts were digital art and photography, mixed media, drawing and painting, ceramics and sculpture. And then so in 2020, 2022, give or take, I'm not sure if my dates are 100% correct, but COVID happened and there was a lot of change that happened within the school. Some of the classes or some of the teachers kind of left. There was a lot of maneuvering to kind of help us function as a school at the time. So like our video broadcasting teacher, he left, that class kind of became obsolete. And then so there was kind of during that time, we pitched that we go in a different direction where, as far as me as a teacher, it didn't seem to be a continuation of skills where you have Tech 6, computer science, and then robotics. It was very separate entities. And so wanted to bring it all together where students can learn different aspects of technology, design, and innovation in that area, where we're looking at, doing maker design projects, fashion design projects, graphic design, video production, music production, and that's kind of like where my skill level was anyway, so it kind of really was a natural fit for me. But to give students a way that they can express their learning through different ways of digital design and maker design as well. So that class became Design Innovation 6, Design Innovation Core, Design Innovation Studio, and then visual arts was still a part of performing arts. And then our last change before I get to where we are now was Design and Innovation and Visual Arts. We merged and became one department. It really made a lot of sense. And it just became Design and Innovation and Visual Arts, which we called it DIVA at the time. I wasn't super happy about that. It had a ring to it, to be honest. So we went with it for a little while. So at that point, we merged the departments, and it's always been a process at one of my major goals was I wanted our department to look like what the school was looking for from our students holistically. And so looking at this is such a beautiful way of seeing what a student should look like, or what an ASD student should look like, and all the things that come up there through our attributes, through our core values, and our mission statement. So really looking at our direction where we're going with the department, we really wanted to hone in on our mission statement. Can you just look at that and just kind of just discuss, like, what is that what does that truly mean? And like, do you see that in the real world, like, you know, how the world is and the changes that are happening very rapidly? How do you think that that affects our students and like just maybe even affect you in the world? Like, just think about that just for a second. Maybe discuss with your partner. Can you discuss, just pick a partner and just kind of discuss what does that look like in the world that you live in, and then what could that look like for our students as well? It's early, I know. All right, so dissecting this and like what can we do to create students that really look like this, we really took that, and the thing was, how do we do that? How do we create students that look like that in our department, and what we can do to contribute to our community? So, now the school has the framework for the future, which kind of breaks down, it really somewhat breaks down that mission statement, where we're engage all, delivering challenging, inspirational, and purposeful learning, include all through inclusion and belonging to the members of our diverse community, inspire all to design, develop, and deliver for public purpose throughout Dubai, UAE, and beyond, and then to nurture all. So when the school has developed this, it gives us a deeper look into what that mission statement means. So now, with this being said, we're looking into our department and how do we develop students to look like this and to look like what our mission statement says. And so our approach is we look to do these things, which this is our attributes, which is almost another breakdown of that as well. And we do it through some of these four key areas here: design thinking, student-centered learning, real-world application, and future readiness. The beauty of design thinking is that in order to develop or create something for someone, you have to find empathy. You have to put yourself in their shoes. You got to understand what your user or what your client, you got to understand how they feel to truly develop something that they might need. So that helps us to get students to understand, how do you empathize with others? And even in our practice, students have to empathize with their own feelings as well, becoming more self-aware, because sometimes they're developing products that they want. So empathizing is super important, which is part of our student attributes. Defining the problem. How do they truly define what is the actual problem that we're looking at? Being problem solvers is important. Coming up with ideas, communicating those ideas, creating prototypes that innovate what someone might need, testing that out, and being resilient through the testing process of getting feedback that helps you make whatever you created better as well. And then you have to share that to the world. Student-centered. When we talk about student-centered, we're talking about culture, being aware of culture, and how that affects the classroom, and creating a culture within your classroom as well, and being respectful of that. We talk about passion. I threw up a passion fruit. So we talk about passion, and so in the area of design and innovation and art, these are areas that students normally can be very passionate about, because a lot of times students are doing these things in their spare time. We're talking about providing students with choice, where they can choose what kind of skills they want to further develop and how they want to implement those skills and what way they want to voice that. Them having voice to what they want to do and how they want to present what they have created. We talk about universal design, how we want to give all of our students access to the learning. And then we want to create a curriculum that is unique, that is flexible, and that is adaptable. So we meet regularly. We change all the time with our classes. It always changes. We change according to what's happening, according to the needs of our audience. We always want to change and create a curriculum that does that as well. We talk about real world application. Being global citizens, we look at the Sustainable Development Goals and the Sustainable Compass. How do we, when we are developing our products and our art, how do we look at the need of the world or need of the school or the need of Dubai or what's around us? We also do that through our advisory program and our student-led production company with Falcon Studios, where students are developing products for our school. They're developing videos and advisory lessons. They're developing a news show. They're kind of taking over the assemblies and they're putting on the assemblies. They're designing the yearbooks now. And then as we go and even more teachers are seeing what the students are doing, they're asking for more projects to come from our students. And so they're able to apply their learning from our curriculum into the real world, and they can see why it's important to be on time, to use time management strategies, where, in some other classes they don't see it, but in this way they see that, oh, I have an audience I have to prepare this for. So it starts to get them to understand, how do I be a little bit more professional in my approach? And then future readiness, collaboration. Students are working across classes now. They have to work in teams because sometimes the work can get overwhelming. So if they are editing a video or if they're producing some new show, they have to work with each other to do that. And so they're working in different facets. We're talking about creativity, of course, with art and design. AI, that's a big thing in education and in the world. How does that affect the classroom in a efficient way and in a way that doesn't take away from their learning? And then we're looking at entrepreneurship within our classes as well, as how do we do professional development in the classroom, where students are learning how to be professional and how to present and how to communicate with people of different positions as well. So that leads us to our new courses and how we have set up our new courses in digital design, maker design, 2D art, and 3D art. We simplified it, but it allowed us an opportunity to give students more opportunity and more choice. This is just another look at how the pathways merge. So you have the top classes, which is the 6th grade classes. It's an explorer wheel, so they get to kind of taste it and see what it's like, and then they can venture off into different directions. These are semester courses as well. And then we have our studio classes, which can be repeated as well. A little bit more detail about that. I'll let you read that through. Our core classes is really about skill development. How can they develop the skills to be able to do the things that studio does, where they are putting on more shows, working across classes, and developing bigger projects as well. These are our standards that we go by, and this is what allows us the opportunity to create real-world application where they are developing projects throughout the school. Sustainable development. Our standards are, this is really about like the design thinking process and the process of how you go about creating things and presenting things. So when we grade them, these are the grades you will see in the grade book. Our goal is to get students, we want them to be better artists and better designers, but we want them to be able to do these things because we really feel like this is what the real world looks like. I mean, this is probably what most of you are doing on your jobs, right? And so we're really looking at how do we get students to master what these standards are saying. Yeah, sure, we want them to be more creative and better drawers and better at video editing. Those skills are great, but at the end of the day, these are what is going to affect them in the real world and how they do this and the jobs they might put on as they go. And now I've talked so much. So we have 2D art. Is Liz here? Oh, there she is. So we have 2D art. This is Liz teaches 2D art and Jake, and I'm going to allow them the chance to come up and present on behalf of it. Yeah, or their students. Yeah.
Good morning. I have students here from 3D, but I'll speak about 2D. So I teach one section of 2D, and Mr. Toa teaches the others. So here is an example of the different materials we use. It's similar in 3D. Some of the skills, important skills students are working on is generating their own ideas. So we begin with that, or brainstorming, or mind mapping. So it's authentically originated from themselves and what they're thinking about, and we link it to the attributes and think about how can we show those visually and creatively, of course, and the sustainability goals. You'll see some examples of the work. We mix different types of media as well, so it's not necessarily a traditional approach just with drawing and then moving on. We actually started with collage to open it up. Sometimes students can be quite hard on themselves if they think if they can't draw realistically then they're not good at art, which is not true at all, of course. So we keep it open for them to explore which media they do connect with the most. And again, it's always originating their own idea. So there's frameworks and supports and concepts that we're working with, but they're really bringing their own voice to everything they do. And then they're going through a process, showing their experimentation and practicing giving feedback to others and reflecting on themselves. So that whole process, and as an artist, you could say yourself too, like this is exactly what artists do. So they're in that mode and they're practicing all the real things that creatives do. So that's amazing to see. And then 3D, I will ask a few of my students to come up. Viola and Yinsao are here, and they'll speak to this. And they'll be available to guide you around the show after as well.
So 3D art is basically all about like sculpting and ceramics, and also a lot of collaboration with our fellow classmates. We started off by making like mini sculptures. We could just experiment with clay and things like that. Then we like made a mini sculpture based on attributes. And then we made SDG masks, which are like sustainability development goals. So masks that reflect on, you know, like problems in the world and how we can fix them. And then we also made another group project related to attributes. It had to help the school in some way or like inspire people. We had to plan everything from what the project would reflect and then literally where in the school we would place the project. Then to close off the course, we did another group project with people of our choice, where you could choose from 3 different topics, again reflecting like attributes and things that support the school, and we could make these things interactive and inclusive.
Thank you.
We have Maker Design. Ms. Turner is in her classroom right now, but I think she has representatives to speak on behalf.
Hi everyone, my name is Zabi, this is Ziad, and this is Shenzo. We're in Maker Design Core, and we're just going to talk about a few things that we like about Maker Design Core, and a few different units that we've gone through. For me, something that I've liked about Maker Design Core, which was a part of our unit, was the process of how to design. And basically, we were put into these groups, and me and Shanza were in one of these groups, and we have a design that's actually outside, a little bit over there. I don't know where it is, but if you just look around, you can find it. It's called a power fan. We named it, we gave it everything, and I thought it was so cool because we had a whole design for it. We just came up with everything from our idea. So I thought that was like really nice, really innovative, and just the whole design process.
So I think maybe my favorite stuff about Maker Design is probably, I'd say like the designing, because like let's say when you start making stuff off scratch, because we all made it off scratch and getting ideas from our head. We started like making like the design plan she gave us, and then we just started designing. So it was me, Hassan, and Nabil in one group. They're not here now, but we decided to make something for the school nurses and that, because whenever, let's say, someone gets injured and they can't really like move too much, they would, from the nurse's office, they would have a wheelchair that they would bring to the student and then take them back. What we were building is like a mini, like let's say like an ambulance, but like very just like a small one that will fit fully around the school. So we started designing it, having many like ideas of what we were doing, and we also talked to like many people like Miss Butler and Mr. Mike, and like a few others that like can help us with this. And it's still not like officially made or anything. We're still like thinking about doing it and stuff like that, because you have to arrange like the price and everything like that to get it. But it was a lot of fun, like let's say making it and like planning it by making like small models of it and like keep changing it and changing it.
So my favorite part about this class is actually not really the designing, but more or less that we get to like help our school, because our first unit was all really just about helping our school and trying to fix certain problems. So I felt like I've been in the school since K1, so it really meant a lot to me that I could like give back to the community for everything they've done to me. So yeah, and then it's also like you get to make things that could possibly renovate the school and help the nature and the environment we're in. So in my opinion, this is probably one of my favorite classes I've ever taken, because I got to build something just from scratch, just from my own ideas, and I got to really implement that, learning new motor skills, and I really love that, and I just got to give back to my community. So yeah, that's really all I just have to say.
And then lastly, we have digital design. This is the class I teach, by the way, sorry.
So my name's Ad, this is Isha and Kian. So one of the main things so I'm from core, so one of the main things that we focus on are like the SDGs, Sustainable Development Goals, which are exactly the problems that we're trying to solve. So we have the chance to be innovative. So we have the chance to be innovative by making video ads about some SDGs by using the 4 assigned ones we get from our startup studio. So for example, I'm from Innovate Inc., so my SDGs were life on land, life underwater, climate action, and clean energy. So yeah, we were able to, so we made ads, so we were able to design our own solution, whether it was a fundraiser or some kind of technology, and we had to make an ad on it. And then we also have something called Developer's Domain. So this is a class that's like, it's like a choose your own journey, basically. You can do music, you can do graphic design, anything you really want. But, because in the end, the main thing is that you can find a way to make an impact. So Developers Domain is like a place where you can take courses on whatever whatever thing you want to like make better. And yeah.
Hi, my name is Ishal, and I am in Digital Design Studio. So I was in core last year, and now I'm in this studio class. So for Digital Design Studio and Falcon Studios, we are working on projects that are helping our community, but into like broadcasting videos, assemblies. Like, for example, we work on, every Monday we make like film and edit an episode that goes out every Monday that tells us what's going to happen during the week. That's what we call Falcon 7s. Another thing we do is that we're actually able to host assemblies, which are called live Falcon feed assemblies, where are basically longer Falcon 7s, but also not only talk about what's about to come up, but what's happened during the past few months, and some more fun activities where students like enjoy. So we're able to work on these great projects that are able to really talk to the students and make these projects that not only promote stuff, but also make students aware. Another thing I'd like to highlight is the yearbooks. Like this year, we've been tasked on designing the yearbook. So the yearbook that comes out at the end of the year, that's what we'll be also working on. Advisory videos that we work on, also one of the projects we do. So basically, our projects work with students and what we're able to promote to them.
Hi, my name is Kian and I'm in Digital Design Core. Today I'll be talking about the virtual currency developed by Mr. Johnson, namely called Xcoin. You can get Xcoin by earning different badges, as you can see over here. So like for example, you have Master Collaborator, you collaborated with your fellow classmates. So when you're collaborating with them, you can just put that as a different badge. You can also learn a lot of Xcoin by doing a job, which earns you, that depends on what job you do, minimum of 500 points, and for Xcoin, no, you can't trade them for lunch, I've tried. That brings me to modifiers. ×2, ×8. They're both stackable, so you buy ×2, you buy ×8, boom, ×10, easy math. Did you know there are also certain ranks that students can achieve? Request. So now you guys can look at the board. So for example, an intern is 0 to 99,000 coins. And so far, the people in our digital design classes, the biggest amount is Ishal with around 140,000 Xcoin. So round of applause for her. But most students in the digital design classes are interns. And one more thing before I move on to the last thing. Why are Xcoin and a coffee shop the same? Both give you points for showing up. That's so corny. Last, I bring you to our Xcoin tracker, which is also filled out by, get who? I don't know. Which you can also see on the presentation. This tracker is also filled out by our second associate. The Xcoin tracker is a way to record your coins earned. So if Mr. Johnson says, hey, put that badge or that job on your tracker, well then you know what? We put that on our tracker. And then by next Monday, we get all our Xcoin and tracker fulfilled. Kind of like Aladdin's wishes. That's all. Thank you.
One more round of applause for all of our students that presented. We should hear more from more students as you go into. So we're getting to the end. So how to get involved? One thing is encourage your students to sign up for our elective courses to be a part of it. If your students are going into high school, they get to be a part of our lovely high school classes as well that are going to be a little bit more specific in the areas that they might do in design and innovation. Support our events. This is somewhat of an event. Normally we have a different type of event, but since we have this move, we just kept it to a simple open house and just a talk. But at the end of the year, we should have like a bigger design expo event that we're working on. Experiential field trips that we go on. If you have any ideas or any support you might want to give us for that, please let us know. Expert collaborations and partnerships is always great as well, where maybe you know somebody that can come in and do maybe a workshop with our students, or maybe you are the person that can come in and do a workshop. If any of those things are your specialty, we'd love to work with you and see how could you come in and help support us as well. And if there's other ways, please reach out to us and let us know. Our emails are here on this last page, and thanks for coming. At this time, we'll have students that'll take you around and kind of show you some of the projects. I don't have a class, so you're not gonna be able to see students present. You'll see a few, but we're gonna have an open house for the rest of today and also tomorrow. If you drop back by, If you have a student in a class, just ask them which block they're in to see which time, and they should be in there presenting at that time as well. But please go throughout the center and just check out the beautiful creations made by our students. Thank you.